Hey everybody, Karen from Master Spirit Guides. I hope you're doing well today. So we are going to answer your questions. The lead team is going to answer your questions regarding the speech that President Trump gave, the primetime address on July 16th. So just last week, many of you probably know, he gave an address, and I did a call out on the channel to see if you guys had any questions, because I thought, well, we can at least ask. I wasn't sure if people would be interested. So let's just find out. You guys had 21, well, there's 21 questions. There was more comments, but I think the 21 questions will answer everybody's. I think they were, some repeats and that sort of thing. Okay, well, let's go ahead and I will say the prayer. I close my aura to all but my higher self, the God consciousness, my guides, guardians, the lead team collective, and only those of the highest and purest light, and ask Archangel Michael to please protect my channel, your channel, our community, the lead team collective, so it is all of the highest and purest light. Amen. Hey, lead team. Hello. Thank you so much for being here with us and partnering with each of us and us as a collective. We really appreciate it. So many of you had questions. So the community had questions about President Trump's speech, the upcoming midterm elections, and the future of American democracy, and whether humanity, this is basically what your questions were related to, whether humanity is moving toward a different kind of leadership. So that's fascinating. Okay, so lead team, do you have any concerns about answering these questions for us? No. Is there anything here that wouldn't be in our highest and best interest to talk about or no? No. Okay. And as always, they will refrain from answering if that's the case. Okay. Okay, question number 1. Did President Trump believe the statements he made during his primetime address? Yes. Was the speech approved by him ahead of time? Yes. Okay. So he had full sovereignty in deciding what the messaging of the speech was going to be. Yes. Did his administration agree with him doing this speech? No. Did some in the administration agree for him to do this speech? Oh, no. Okay, so was this was a going rogue? Did Trump go rogue on this allegedly and entertainment purposes only? Yes. Is there an undisclosed cognitive condition affecting President Trump? Yes, allegedly. Yes. Okay. Was the speech primarily an act of political desperation? Yes. Again, however you stand on this, let's just be open-minded. You can take it or leave it, obviously. This is not to create division between us, the people. We're not doing that anymore here, or I'm not participating in that at all. We're just trying to get a bigger picture view of what's really happening. So I think it's important to be honest with the perspective of what's happening so that we can take appropriate action, and actually get to the truth, because no matter who's in office, it's getting very clear that we're not getting the truth. And I think that's, the more truth we have, the better off we can change things for humanity is kind of how I see it. So sorry, I got on my little soapbox there, but the lead team was saying yes the whole time. Okay, will the claims made during the speech eventually be publicly examined and disproven? Yes, and some of it already has. My understanding, although I didn't see this directly, but I heard someone say, doesn't mean that's true. Just because I heard somebody say this, because I didn't fact check it, that even like Fox News was fact checking him. And did they? I guess, yeah, I could ask the lead team. Yes. And there was a few, it wasn't CBS, it was NBC and ABC. They did not air the address. Is that because that's how they've treated all presidents in the past? No. Is it because they didn't trust that he was going to give accurate information? Oh, allegedly. Yes. Interesting. Will new information... Well, actually, let me reverse that question again, because we're not trying to create division or take a stand at all. We're just trying to see what the lead team says. Will the claims made during the speech eventually be publicly examined and proven? No. Okay. Will new information about the 2024 election become public after this speech? I don't know how they're answering. First they were saying no, then they're saying yes and no. Okay, lead team, can you be more clear? Maybe they need me to be more clear. Oh, I don't even know if I want to go down this road. All right, I'm going to do it. But again, well, let's just start, because actually the 2020 election is the one he was concerned about. So was the 2020 election stolen from Trump? No. Was the 24 election stolen from Kamala Harris? No. I'm only saying that because that's interesting information, considering what we used to talk about 9 months ago. Now, 9 months ago, there was information that needed to be uncovered. Or a year ago. It was longer, actually. I'm losing track of time. I can't believe it's almost been 2 years. So they may have at this point not proven anything, but this is all legend and entertainment purposes only. So, but that's interesting. So are you saying, Spirit, lead team, that we can trust our election structure and processes in the United States? Yes. Is this entire game that the political system, regardless of party, is this a game that the political system has been playing on the American people to distrust and to divide? Yes, those sons of a... That doesn't surprise me now. Oh my gosh. It's a psyop. It's been a psyop. A psych-op? Psyop. It's been a psyop. Yes. I got some things to say about that. So, okay. Just so you know, there's a little tiny commercial. So I am adding a third level up at the top for the Spirit Circle. I've already decided I am calling it the playground because it's going to be a place for us to explore the 3D chaos as we transition to what I'm calling 5D clarity. So, but because we have to look at the things that are going on to see how we have been manipulated by our structures, by our systems over my entire lifetime, over your entire lifetime and before. And in order for us to break free from that manipulation and get to a place of sovereign individual power where we can make decisions fully on our own without being tied to systems, which, you know, over that we're going to have to rely on that over time to change. But the only way we can help make it change is by discovering that it's happening. And so I feel more comfortable having that. Sorry for those who don't want to do that, who can't afford it or whatever. But I just, at this point, there's a whole bunch of reasons, which I'll explain in a different video, as to why I'm putting it behind a paywall, basically. Because otherwise I'd have to start a whole new channel. It's not something I could do here in this community, in this channel for algorithm and all that kind of stuff. So plus it's good. I want it to be relatively small group. I don't need it to be a huge group. And this way we can feel, all of us can feel safe. We don't have to have bots, you know, tracking us and all that kind of stuff like they will for this video probably. You know, so there's a whole bunch of reasons, but please consider joining. I won't have it up. You guys are going to see this on Thursday, the 23rd of July. That's when I'm recording it. I won't probably have the next layer ready until next week, probably Sunday, hopefully Sunday, Monday. I'll have it up. I'll do a video to explain everything. And then you guys will have, we're going to do a founding member price. And then we are shifting all of the Spirit Circle prices on August 17th because YouTube is actually switching prices as well for that. So anyways, that's the whole thing. Okay, so keep that in mind if that's something that would be helpful for you to explore some of these things that we're talking about today, but in a little bit more depth and being able to say, what the hell? But mostly to understand how it's kind of kept us, some people would say enslaved, with a lot of guardrails to not be who we truly are, to not feel safe to be who we truly are, that kind of stuff. So that's the things we're going to be exploring. It's going to be fun. I'm excited. Just because we used to do this in the channel, I would be able to just come on here and pop on and go, hey, what do you guys think about this? Oh my gosh. And then with the algorithm and everything, and it eventually, when things grow, things get more structured, and that's just the way it is. So I'm excited to be able to have that opportunity. There's a very good chance I'll be going live in that group, like on a regular, but I'll just be like popping in like, what do you guys think about this? You know what I mean? Without it taking a side. I'm going to do my very best, but you got to look at what's going on today, but also look at how it's been going on over time too, Okay. Will Americans still have the opportunity to vote in the November midterm elections? Okay, they told me no. Wow, really wide swing. So they told me no a couple months ago as well. And so we're still on that timeline. Somehow the midterm elections are going to be canceled. At least we're on that current trajectory. Yes. All right, well, we'll see if that comes true or not. Again, we can veer off of the timeline and go a different direction than that. So, but that's what it's looking like still on July 23rd. Okay. Let's see. Will there be attempts to manipulate the midterm elections? Yes. And that will be by not having them? Is that how yes. Okay. I have to say, I did post a letter did I post a letter that I wrote about his speech? Yeah, I think so. And I think I talked about it in a different video. But I did write a letter to the White House, and I just said, well, if that's the case about the 2020, then should we be questioning, I said to President Trump very respectfully, but should we be questioning your election win in 2016 and 2024 then? If he wants us to not feel safe, that our votes aren't being, that the system isn't working, it's rigged, well, then we have to question 2016 as well. But he didn't say that. If I were him and I was coming on to talk about a rigged election, then, and who knows how people spell out election on here. I mean, who knows? It's probably suppressed. I don't know. People say it is, but it'll probably go further than probably some of our other videos. So it's hard to know, but I'm not going to play that game in this video. But, if it were me, if I were the president and I legit had something, I would say, well, that as president, that would make me question every single election, even the ones I won. Then I would trust him if he would have said that. You know what I mean? I don't know why this is so hard. I think we do as a society need to get back to truth telling. The people who we have entrusted with our finances to organize on a more wider scale, we need to get back to trust, because this is redonkulous the way they have this system set up. So that's what I'm putting out there. I'm putting that out there. Because, and again, if he would have just said that, I would have been like, oh, okay, well, maybe there really is then, But he just only talked about the times he lost. Well, we're adults with brains and critical thinking brains. Like, that doesn't jive, So, let's see. Will voting machines be used to manipulate election results? No. So if there's any manipulation, it will be calling off the midterm elections. Yes. Will this administration attempt to interfere with the midterm elections? Yes. Will, on this current trajectory timeline, well, there's one timeline, but on this current branch of the timeline that we're on, will they succeed at interfering with the midterm elections? Yes. I think there's something that they can use because you're in a war, I think. So, will they use war as the reason? Yes. Is that one of the reasons why there hasn't been, besides Iran, but is that one of the reasons why they haven't solved this thing so they can use it? Yes. Not surprising. All right. Will the SAVE Act be enacted before the midterm elections? No. Is that one of the reasons why they're going to try to call them off? Yes. I've already been writing letters about the SAVE Act. I think I did post my letters that I wrote. I posted a couple letters that I wrote. When I send them, I usually post them so that you guys, if anybody wants to grab them and change them or whatever, make it easier for people, I usually post them in the post area. Will enough elected officials eventually stand up to President Trump? Oh, yes. Well, let's say this. We got to clarify that. Will enough elected officials who actually can make a change in the House and the Senate stand up to Trump before his term is over? Yes, meaning I still have to clarify. Okay, lead team, you know how Republicans right now have control of both the House and the Senate? Yes. If that were to stay the same, would enough of them eventually stand up to President Trump? No. Okay. So it's not the Republicans. So this is kind of a really tricky question because, because people are standing up to him, but will the people who are standing up to President Trump have the power to force him to change things eventually? Yes. Before his term is up? Yes. Okay. Well, that's interesting. Even if they don't have midterm elections, I guess the individual elections would still be going off in the states. Yes. Well, here's another question that I guess I'm confused about. How does Trump, this is not a yes/no question, I have to frame it that way, but how does the federal government have control over midterms when it's at the state level? That's the question. So there's going to be something they can do at the federal level that can stop elections at the state level? Yes. Is that what they're exploring right now? Yes. I'm telling you, just give it up. They make things so complicated. Everybody, this whole political system makes things so complicated. What is wrong with these people? Not, and I don't mean just like this Trump administration. I just mean all of these people, worldwide. What is wrong with them? Greed. It has to be something that they have been taught from generation to generation. It has to do with that whole committee of 300. It just has to. I can't believe it otherwise. It's just so ridiculous. It's not that complicated. I could be president and do, I mean, like Mondami, you guys, like he is just, don't put labels on people. Like just listen to, is he speaking truth? Like he's just, you know what? They offered him a pay raise and he didn't take it because he doesn't need it. He's like, no, you guys don't have, I'm not trying to get rich here. I'm trying to do things good for New Yorkers. Okay. But then people will label him because then people label him and then he sucks because of the label. But okay, don't get me started. This is the kind of stuff we're going to be talking about in the playground. Okay, because we're going to play around with these things. Oh, don't get me started. I'm all my... And when we're in the playground, obviously shifting from the 3D chaos to the 5D clarity, right? Okay. Let's see. Will the repubs, these are your questions, I think that's cute. Will the repubs continue to go along with the charade of interference? Yes, they will. Will Americans see justice served through successful persecutions? Oh, yes, but that's a very broad question. That's very broad. I mean, it may be in 50 years, maybe in, so if you guys had other questions, you'd need to clarify that. Okay, is President Trump helping the white hats behind the scenes? We have had this question before, yes and no, and I think I have better clarity on it. Is President Trump, by choice, a part of the White Hat Alliance? No, which is quite contradictory. So again, allegedly entertainment, if it doesn't feel good to you, it's quite contradictory to who, I mean, I've been hearing a few other people talk, and I'm not going to say who they are. That's the kind of conversation we're going to have in the playground, because I kind of feel like I've been listening to a few people and some of their stuff is intriguing. Like they're very positive. So like what they're saying is a little tricky for me, because I do find them very positive and optimistic and hopeful. But the language they use, I'm noticing, is very QAnon related. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I don't know enough about it, but it makes me a little sus. So to take a term from the younger folks, sus. I don't even know if they're using that still. Usually it takes me about 10 years to catch up to, then I'll start using it. So I would not call out any other channel in a negative way, but I'm not opposed to exploring that deeper in the playground. Okay. In the Spirit Circle playground level. So, because it wouldn't be kind. I wouldn't want anybody to do that with me. So there you have it. Okay. So they're saying, okay, so then the follow-up to that is Trump helping the white hats because he doesn't have a choice? Yes. Well, are there actually what people are calling a white hat alliance? Yes. Do they call themselves the white hats? Oh, they do. Okay. I think we've done some sessions on this, so they said yes. Is the war with the country of I will play some games with that one. And this is the country of I that has joined in with the United States. to go to war with the other country of I. So that's the first country of I is who we're talking about. Is the war in the country of I really about control of a Stargate? What? Yes. Okay. Is the war in... Okay, I need to just say the word because I'm confused. Is the war in Israel really about control of a Stargate? In Israel? Yes. Or is the war with Israel and Iran really about control of a Stargate? Yes. Is the Stargate in Iran? Well, okay, there could be one. Okay, yes. Is there one in Israel? Oh, there is. Yes. Is there more than one Stargate, you guys? I have no idea what this is. I don't even know what a Stargate is, to be honest. Okay. All right. Well, you'll have to ask clarifying questions. I'll do a part 2 if you guys have enough questions. So, if so, will the White Hats ultimately gain control of the Stargate rather than the Black Hats? Yes. Well, is Bibi considered a White Hat? No. Allegedly. Is Bibi working for the White Hats? No. Is the original Bibi still a living human being? No. I had to ask that because I did hear somebody say that recently, that like he hasn't been seen or whatever. And I knew there was those pictures. Has he been seen recently? I mean, I thought he was trying to come to New York, and that's when. See, I do feel that now I forgot his name. The guy in New York, Mindami. Is that how you pronounce it? That he, he's trying to do the right thing by arrest a person who has been charged by the criminal court of the world. And there's a warrant out for his arrest. Well, that to me is doing the right thing. And it doesn't mean he's guilty, but he should be arrested. And if he comes to the United States at all, so Mindami realized that they looked through it. They can't do it if he comes to New York, but the federal government can. They're not following. I mean, there's a warrant out for his arrest for crimes against humanity. Again, not saying he's guilty, but he needs to be tried because they have a reason for the warrant. Otherwise, what are the rules? What are the rules for? What are the rules for any of us then? So the question is, why isn't, I don't want to go down this path with these guys right now because it's too big of a question, but why isn't we should be putting pressure on our federal government for doing that, in my opinion. Again, these are all my opinions. Okay, because again, why do some people can you do that? Can you have a warrant out for your arrest for crimes against humanity? And should we just not expect that you have to answer to it? I even from a spiritual level, yeah, I do think you should have to, So, crimes against humanity? Yikes. Okay, sorry, I'm getting a little bit of soap on my soapbox. All right. Will there still be corrupt politicians 10 years from now? Yes. That's very broad too. Like we didn't narrow down where. That's very broad. Actually, we're going to start reading which is a funny story. I'm not going to tell you right now, but we're going to start reading the Earth Experiment. If people in the practice want to tell people in the comments what happened, that'd be fine. So we're going to start reading the Earth Experiment in the practice. And I've already started reading the book. I did a video on it and in the public channel with you guys. And they basically said that the 5D Yeah, that's going to be interesting. I'm going to have to come back because I'm learning so much from this book. This is from Kuan Yin, channeled from Ascended Master Kuan Yin. And so Ascended Master Kuan Yin said that the way she describes the 5D and the 3D is not quite maybe what we've been thinking. It's very physical environment still. It's a very physical environment still. So, and that doesn't mean there's not going to still be people who are testing the limits, you know? It's just going to be harder for them to do that. So I'm finding this, it's just a different, interesting, I'll post the book in the link below if you guys want to look at it. It's quite good. And actually, my sister said that Daniel Scranton has reached out to us a couple times. Hi, Daniel. I don't know if he's watching this. I'm not really into, like, it's just, there's so many things going on that I have so many different priorities, but that doesn't mean I won't reach out to him at some point. You know, see if we can do some partnering. I don't really do too much partnering right now, but that might change. Okay, let's see. So yeah, Daniel Scranton, pretty cool that he contacted us. When I was doing Ann Tucker, you guys, Ann's office contacted us as well to say thank you. So that was very nice. Okay, you guys must tell people that I'm talking about them. So that would be the only way they would know, I think. Hopefully they, you know, feel it's positive. So yes, still corrupt politicians. Will more than half of Americans be living according to 5D values within the, okay. Will there ever be a time on Earth where more than half of Americans are living with 5D values? Yes. Will this happen in the next 5 years? No. So, you know, just because it's half. Will 25% of Americans be living with 5D values within the next 5 years? Yes. Are we even close to 25% with 5D value already? Yes, so we could be going up from there actually, because there's probably already a percentage of us who do. So that, yeah, we could really dive into that with more time. Will influential leaders who genuinely embody 5D values, that's how I see Mandami. Again, let's not put these labels on, because that's just the structure's way of making us afraid of people. No labels. Let's look at 5D values. I actually like thinking of people that way. Will influential leaders who genuinely embody 5D values emerge over the next 2 years? They totally are already. And I guess if you had to put a label on them, which might be hard for people who are conservative, but I would call them progressives. So those people tend to, and you can see the center Dems are freaking out about them, because the center Dems and the center Republicans, they're all one of they're all a part of that same structure that has just been, let's just play the game and we'll keep the money where we want it and all this kind of stuff. And now the progressives are saying, hey, we're actually going to do things for the people. So this is why we have to be really careful with labeling, you know. Let's stop calling ourselves conservative. Let's stop calling ourselves liberals. Let's look at the values and say, can we align with these values, you know, without the labels, because they're using the labels to keep us in pockets, you know. Okay, 3 more questions. Oh no, 2 more. Are there billionaires in the United States who are genuinely working towards 5D values? Yes, and I would say one of them is for sure, I forget her name. Is it Mackenzie Scott or Scott McKenzie? No, Mackenzie Scott, I think. Jeff Bezos' ex-wife, big time. Is she one of them? I'm not sure that's her name, but they'll know who I'm talking about. Yes. Are there billionaires in the world who are genuinely working towards 5D values? Yes. And I would be comfortable in the playground actually talking to these guys and saying, well, who? You know? Like I would go, is Bill Gates, but I would rather not do that here. Although, I mean, I guess I could, but all right, let's just ask. Allegedly. Is Bill Gates one of those? No. Okay. allegedly entertainment purposes only. Can love alone inspire more than half of Americans to embrace 5D values within the next 5 years? Yes, love alone can do that. That's why we really have to, every time we're listening to whoever's talking, are they using fear to convince you to vote for them, or are they using love to convince you to vote for them? I am done with the commercials of like, the judge commercials. Oh, they left somebody who RAPE'd somebody go. Like, that's all they ever talk about, No, tell me what you're going to do. Tell me what you're going to do. Stop bashing the other person. To me, that's what we have to start seeing. That would be a beautiful shift. Like, just tell me what you're going to do, and I'll be able to judge whether I feel comfortable with those values. But you notice how they never talk about what they're going to do? Like what the plan is? I'm sorry, but Trump had a plan. Remember, he didn't have a plan. He said he had a concept of a plan. That alone should have been. But did Kamala say she just was smart enough not to say I have a concept of a plan? But, and I guess she did lay out her plan. She did, actually, because I listened to it. She did lay out her plan. Whether she would have been able to instigate it, I'm not sure. But a concept of a plan, not good enough, All right, you guys, I hope this was helpful. I can see us probably doing a part 2 if you have enough questions, so let me know. Okay, you can put them in the comments below. All right, take care. Bye-bye.